Morning. How's everyone doing today? Different look, mainly because I am at my normal office, but instead of pitching my MacBook out the window, I decided to give it one more shot at rebuilding it. This will be the fifth time to see if I can resolve some of the stability issues now. I've got a feeling as to what the problem might be. Fingers crossed. Takes a little while to rebuild though, so I'm going from one of my mobile rigs as opposed to my normal sort of studio setup. So a little bit different look. Not quite at the height I want, mainly because one of my cats has commandeered my larger chair that I could rest this on. Anyway, all good. It's Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. Yesterday I did post that video for the AMDFlaws for Rise and Fall for Master Key, Chimera, and Fallout. You can check that here on the Facebook page or on the YouTube channel. That's been getting a positive response so far. Thankfully, the hype cycle didn't really kick in on those flaws because it was kind of ridiculous as far as the probability. And that's really a big thing for me as a cybersecurity professional, is that probability is key. Just because something's possible doesn't mean that it's probable or it's going to happen. And that's really the fundamental concept behind risk. And a lot of people end up forgetting that. They sit there and they go, well, it's possible, we need to defend against it. And realistically, you should be defending against this the same way you're defending against most other cyber attacks, which is trying to prevent criminals from getting administrative access to your systems. I mean, one of those CPU vulnerabilities even required a full rewrite of a BIOS, which realistically would never happen except in extreme circumstances. It's still interesting technically though. So also on a similar note, Intel announced that they have a new generation of CPUs that are going to address some of the Spectre and Meltdown issues in hardware. So look for those to start hitting in second half of 2018. So realistically, people will start to use them end of the year, maybe next year, before some major vendors have them integrated. But you know, we knew that was coming. It's a somewhat software mitigatable, but it needs to be fixed in the hardware. So that's continuing on. I think I'm based on some of the responses I've gotten online, I will do a bit of a write-up and either post that on mark.ca or mark.ca, or on Medium, as far as a little text write-up about the issues and compare them to Spectre and Meltdown a little bit better. And of course, I'll link and embed the video from yesterday that's on the YouTube channel too. Other than that, I'm tackling some mobile forensics today. Got an interesting little project that came up that I'll talk a little bit more about next week, but have to dive into some Android forensics, which I haven't done in a while. So that's going to be interesting and challenging, capturing them through the beauty of the cloud. Had to kind of put away my old school thinking on some stuff and realize that a far simpler way to do some of the capturing for network traffic that I need to do involved an interesting little cloud solution. So again, I might write that up if I have time. Definitely part of the project report that'll come out of this little forensics activity. Other than that, what I want to talk about today real quick, because I know I've already been kind of rambling on for 3 minutes already. So what I wanted to talk about was there's been a few announcements this week in various avenues. Town in New York has just made an announcement. Google made an announcement where they're preventing activity for advertising cryptocurrencies. John Oliver this week with Last Week Tonight had a fantastic breakdown on cryptocurrency. So, you know, hodl gang. Absolutely amazing breakdown from John Oliver on it as far as the realities of cryptocurrencies. And, you know, that's not to discount blockchain as a technology. I think there's phenomenal potential in that technology in the right use case. The problem is we're fully on like triple down hype cycle, which doesn't make any sense. So Google took the step of banning ICO advertisements, which is great. We know from statistics compiled for 2017, 46% of all ICOs either failed or were outright scams. And then similar, we're starting to see action taken locally where towns or states or governments in general are looking at these and saying, wait a minute, is this legitimate activity? Where does this fall on the financial spectrum? And that's mainly because even in a heavily unregulated country like the US, there are still regulations around securities trading, around currency trading. Here in Canada, it's far more stringent and stricter regulatory environment. But there's still challenges here, and these are financial products, maybe financial system, completely Wild West unregulated. Some people have got ridiculously rich. Some people are losing the shirt off their backs. At the end of the day, still people don't really know where cryptocurrencies are going, why we have so many. Is it going to boil down to one or two? Or are we going to still have the thousands we have? Because you can literally go to a site and click one button and start, mark a coin, which would be very cool. But again, useless and have no value. So interesting to see that. And that's, I think, really going to be sort of a tangent theme through 2018. You're going to see that pop up every once in a while. But please, the big takeaway for most people is do not associate cryptocurrency and blockchain as being the same thing. Cryptocurrencies are built on blockchain. You can build many other different types of things on blockchain. We've talked about it here before. Things like Microsoft's identity initiatives, as well as the larger global community identity initiatives. For me, forensic scientist, a chain of evidence. Fantastic use. You could imagine having a blockchain chain of evidence, as opposed to just people signing and saying, I didn't let this evidence out of my site. You could have a mathematical verification of their digital signature, which means as part of the court process, you could actually verify that that chain of evidence was unbroken, and that everybody's digital identity lined up with them along with their personal attestation. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a step forward over what we have today. Obviously, voting systems, a huge one. Any transaction. So it's not just any transaction that would be better supported by blockchain, but any transaction that you want to verify, and especially verify in public, or have a third party be able to verify it, is an ideal use case for blockchain. And there's a ton of those out there. So I'm really excited about that technology, but it's unfortunate it's gotten wrapped up in the cryptocurrency debate and cryptocurrency hype, because people are associating the two and they're making them synonymous. Very similar to using the word crypto for cryptocurrency. Please don't let that be a thing. Cryptography, it's well established. It's been going on for thousands of years. Cryptocurrencies use cryptography, but just digital currencies, I think, would be far more appropriate, because we've seen that as a larger life cycle. Anyway, that's a bit of a ramble. It's Friday. You can tell I'm not nearly as focused, but Android Forensics up today. I'll try to get some more stuff out on the AMDFlaws. What are you up to? Let me know. Hit me below in the comments here on Facebook or YouTube. You can hit me up online at MarkNCA, same as the URL here on Facebook, or the channel URL. Got a custom channel URL yesterday. So again, looking to talk, see what you're doing, what's going on for you today. What do you think about the cryptocurrency movements? What do you think about AMDFlaws? Anything and everything. It's always exciting. Lots going on. Have a great weekend, builders. We'll talk to you soon.